Wow, I put so many hours into Oblivion and Skyrim and ESO, and man, these games were all really fun. I got so many achievements in them. I put so many hours in them. I got all the Daedric artifacts and done all the quests, and man, I'm really liking the Elder Scrolls series so far. We should probably hop into Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. I just downloaded it. You know, it's a fresh start and everything. And yeah, I'm just so excited to see what the Morrowind is like. Oh man, look at that, the original Xbox logo and everything. Like, oh, this game is obviously old, but it's obviously gonna be such a great game. I heard so much good stuff about it. I heard that it aged like a fine wine. I should really check it out, see what the hype is all about. I should really see, you know, what all the Morrowind are talking about. They're all saying it's such a great game. Oh man, I just can't wait to start a new game right here, right now. The loading screen is coming in. Oh man, that is really nice. That is very nice. Oh, it already came in as the Game of the Year edition. Time to start a new game, check things out. Oh man, that was a great cinematic. Okay, well, time to make our character, I guess. Looks like choose a name. I guess my name is Bob. Oh, is it all caps? That's weird. Oh, I guess I can do that. Okay. Yeah, I'll just do that. Man, this game's real nice. The graphics honestly look pretty phenomenal for 2002. You even got the Dark Elves over here being sassy. I heard a lot about that. Definitely beats the British Dark Elves from Skyrim. Oh man, I can already tell this game's going to be really nice. Oh, this is where I pick my race? Okay. Well, this is going to be interesting. Well, anyways, I always play Nord ever since Skyrim. I mean, Skyrim was my favorite game of all time. It was the first Elder Scrolls game I came to, so of course I'm going to like Nords. And oh yeah, glorious white hair. Yeah, I can be a powerful mage. And obviously Nords be very optimized for mages, especially how they look. Alright, time to run on in here. Time to make our character. Oh, I can pick my own class. That's cool. Let's see what kind of classes this game has. Ooh, you got barbarians. I could be Conan the Barbarian. I could be a battle mage. That'd be cool. A crusader like the moons. I could be a knight. That would be pretty interesting. Like in Castle Crashers. I could be a monk. I heard that those guys are kind of cool in D&D. Oh man. Oh, a witch hunter? What's this? It looks like I could be Geralt of Rivia. Yeah, it looks like I can conjure stuff and chance. Use some alchemy. I could probably poison some blades with that alchemy. That seems real nice. I don't see long blade or short blade as on the stats, but that's fine. I can just use that. I can just use short blades and long blades anyways because this is a Bethesda game, so why wouldn't I? Anyways, my favorite sign from the previous games was always the serpent because it just has such great stats on it. I can get paralyzed targets and poison them. It seemed to do weird stuff in Oblivion, but that's alright. It might do weird stuff in this game. Yeah, this all seems to check out. Bob the Nord Witcher. I'm like Geralt of Rivia, alright? Oh yeah, I just picked this up. Yeah, this office looks really nice. Looks like there's a dagger I can pick up. That's my first weapon, and the only gun I've used in this room. Oh yeah, there's a great ring of healing here. My first enchant item. I can put that on. These spells look pretty interesting. Wait, I can put the healing ring as a spell? That's new. Never seen that in Oblivion. Oh yeah, I can also equip this dagger. I almost forgot about that. It seems like that's heavy attacks. I can just hold down heavy attacks as long as I can. Oh, here's third person. Oh yeah, I look like Geralt of Rivia already. This is pretty awesome. Oh man, I can't wait to just head out and kill a bunch of noobs. Let's talk about duties. Seems like there's a lot of navigation I have to do, but that's perfectly fine. I can navigate these menus pretty fine and get the quest marker eventually. Anyways, now that that's there, I'm sure things will become apparent later. Anyways, time to head out in the greater world. Let's see here. Oh, that's weird. It seems like there's not just one quest marker, but a bunch. How do I have so many from already? This seems like a pretty open world. How large is it? I can't zoom out, but it looks pretty massive. That's pretty phenomenal for 2002. Here's the journal. Looks like I have to go to Valmora. Valmora's right here. So just north. Okay. Well, it looks like I have to use map navigation. That's nice. Aha. There's road signs pointing to Valmora down the road. I'll just follow the road signs. I'll just run along. In fact, I should probably love my acrobatics as well while I'm at it. Oblivion has taught me well that loving your acrobatics is very efficient, very nice. Though it seems I'm moving very slow for some reason. I don't know why. Oh man, I can't wait to just see what the combat's like in this game. Oh, an acrobatics of 6. I guess that makes sense. I guess Geralt of Rivia isn't exactly an acrobat. Aha, we have the first enemy. He seems actually kind of friendly. Oh, never mind. He's just like a rat. What the? What's going on? I'm hitting. Why am I not hitting? What is going on? Why am I not hitting? I hit like a few times. Now I'm not hitting at all. What is going on? How could this be? How? That was just one enemy? That was... Is this you? Just starting off in Morrowind, picking a character that you thought looked cool with a build you thought sounded cool, with weapons you thought were convenient at the time, to do things you thought were going to be useful later on, without any actual research, just to later on find that this game will punish you for not having any research whatsoever? Well, don't worry, because I'm here for you, and I'm going to show you how to actually Morrowind. So first of all, we're actually going to load, and we're basically going to actually not load. In fact, as you can see from my loads, I have a few characters, and I know what I'm doing when it comes to making characters in this game. And I'm actually going to do a new game because I didn't save that character yet. So I'm going to start fresh and walk you through how you actually play Morrowind correctly. This is essentially going to be a guide to help mostly Xbox players, because I don't really play Morrowind on PC that much, nor do I mod or know about modding all too well. So this is going to be a bit more down to Xbox players when it comes to the tutorial. Anyways, one of the best parts about making your characters, you can name them whatever you want, and honestly, it doesn't really matter what your name is. You could be 117 for all I care. And yeah, your name really doesn't affect gameplay whatsoever, but it does actually make it to where characters will call you out, and your name will actually affect what the characters actually say because of text-based speech. And of course, coming up is actually going to be the next and the actually most important bits, because I'm going to actually show y'all a few tips and tricks on just how to play Morrowind, how to enjoy the game, and not just fall down the rabbit hole so many players fall down. In fact, that right there was actually me actually trying to be a noob, by the way. I'm actually pretty good at the game. So, first things first, picking your race. Now, all these races actually do have bonuses placed at the sides and specials placed on the sides. For instance, the skill bonuses for an Argonian is a plus 15 athletics, meaning your athletics at base is a 20. However, if you have athletics as a minor skill, then it'll be a 30 because it's 15 plus 15. And if you have athletics as a major skill, that's like 35 plus 15, so you're looking at, hang on, let me do quick math, so that should be like 4, hang on, brain hurt. Hang on, major skills start at 30, so 45, yeah. So your skill would start off as a 45 as a major skill. Sorry about that. Anyways, you also get plus 5 to your alchemy, illusion, medium armor, mysticism, spear, and unarmored as an Argonian. You also get specialties, which is like resist disease, immune to poison, and water breathing. This means you can breathe underwater, you don't get diseases as often, and if a poison trap affects you, you basically just flip it off and don't get affected whatsoever. And of course, every race has its own little unique skills and bonuses, and the only race that's honestly lackluster is probably the Orc with its plus 10 to armor, block, heavy armor, and medium armor, and a plus 5 to axe. And honestly, that's a lot of plus 10s around the place, but it's not that many actually useful skills in that many areas. Like, how many characters can you think of that would use heavy armor, medium armor, block, axe, and armor, aside from, like, say, a berserker that wears pretty hefty gear and repairs stuff while blocking and swinging the axe? Like, archmages are pretty redundant, orc mages are pretty redundant, orc thieves are pretty redundant, basically orc anything that isn't a barbarian is pretty redundant, but you can play one if you want. Red guards are basically really good at using the long blades, wood elves are your marksmen, Khajiits are your acrobats, Nords are basically just beasts which resist everything, and they're honestly pretty powerful. Same with Imperials, only they're more agent-like. And in fact, since this is a how-to video, I'm going to create yet another professor This one's going to be a bit of a wiser professor since I've had a few years with Morrowind, not to brag. But anyways, what makes Imperial so great is you basically have the ability to charm people and lower their fatigue while recovering your own fatigue, and you get extra hand-to-hand, I think long blade, and like you get some light armor in there. You also get a bunch of speechcraft and mercantile. Anyways, whenever it comes up with this, you can answer the questions to generate a class, and honestly nothing wrong with that. It's basically like a which class are you? You could also pick a class if you want, but I always personally fill out the forms myself so I can make a character I want to play, you know? And for this build, I'm actually going to show y'all how to play essentially like a basic Imperial Knight and actually do a good... Actually, I want to go with more of a Witcher class, since I kind of teased that in the beginning. So, what makes a Witcher really good? Well, you know, they're pretty agile. Geralt can swing that long sword pretty quickly. He can dodge roll and everything. And he can also sling out spells pretty agility. One sec. Gotta clear my throat a little. Man. Anyways, also, they're pretty wise because Geralt can perceive tracks and everything. Now, what do these stats actually do? Well, you see, agility affects your dodge and hit chance, and it affects your maximum fatigue, and this affects your ability to resist magic, and your maximum fatigue. This is really just your ability to resist paralyze, and that's basically it. It's your paralyze resistance, and that's, yeah. Anyways, since we're making a Witcher class, we're going to pick Longblade as a major. Witchers are also pretty much mystics. They do have a little bit of destruction and alteration in them, with the fact that they can cast shields and shoot fire. And let's see here. Witchers are... they wear chain and leather a lot. I'm going to go with light armor. He's going to be a speedy Witcher. And since he's a speedy Witcher, athletics and acrobatics, this is so you can run around and jump pretty fast. And we're also going to have, since we're an Imperial, speechcraft wouldn't be bad, and mercantile wouldn't be bad. As minor skills, usually you would want speechcraft and mercantile to almost always either be in a major skill or no skill at all because of just how they work. Like, you want them to be major skills so you can actually admire people and get them to like you more. If they're minor skills, they're kind of in that weird middle ground where you're not quite charming enough to admire people, but also not quite uncharming enough to basically get free training almost. And other than that, what else do Witchers like having? I guess they can have a little bit of, marksman. Geralt does use a crossbow every now and then. And this here is going to be our Witcher class. Actually, I may change something. This here is Witcher. Marksman to alchemy, because Geralt does use alchemical goods, so we're a good combination of combat and, yeah, actually, Longblade is pretty much the only combat part, and Geralt is more of a magic build, I would say. Would I be willing to change that? Yeah, I would change that. Geralt's a magic build now. Yeah, that should work.
Very good. The letter that
Anyways,
preceded, you mentioned you were
now
born under a
signs are also
certain
pretty
sign.
important.
And what
I
would
picked
that
the
be?
serpent sign with that other character as essentially a joke. Honestly, the serpent sign is probably the worst one, because it damages your health 1 point for 30 seconds on self, which basically is a death sentence for most characters. Now, Geralt could probably benefit from, say, the Thief sign. The Thief sign gives you 10% dodge chance with that 10 Sanctuary points, or you could also go Warrior for 10% attack chance. But let's see here. Honestly, Steed, kind of torn. The Ritual gives you a good healing buff. The Lord gives you another really good healing buff, but at the same time makes you very weak to fire. We could probably benefit from... I guess we could go Atronach if we wanted. Stunted magic, but I absorb magic. You know what? That actually makes sense. I would use my alchemy skills to restore my mana more than I would use actual magic. And I would start... 117, I forgot. Oh yeah, and look at that. So, it's 40s across the board, and I got a 50 personality because I'm an Imperial. And I got a 40 long blade, 35s across the board for the rest of the way. The only 15s I get is athletics and acrobatics. I have a 25 speechcraft and mercantile, and a 20 alchemy. That is golden. Now that we have our character nice and optimized, we're going to take this parchment here, and now, something that I completely glossed over on purpose. Now, what just happened there? So, I picked up the lineware platter. The guard chased me down. I dropped the lineware platter. The guard went to arrest me, but since I'm in the tutorial area, his arrest doesn't really go through all the way, and he actually lets us go. And then, because I dropped the lineware platter, it counted as belonging to me, since I personally dropped it, and they saw me drop it, so they would believe it belongs to me. So, after I got confiscated for something I didn't even have anymore, I could just look down and grab the lineware platter. And that's how you get the lineware platter. Because of features. Now, I grabbed the iron dagger and used it, but of course, that was to essentially show you that you really don't want to use the iron dagger unless you have short blade as a major or minor skill. And I have long blade as a major skill, so we're going to be using long blades. And now, what we're doing is grabbing all this stuff. There's also a chest here. You want to grab all of this stuff so you can actually sell it to the guy nearby. Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell y'all, I actually got a new headset. That's how I'm talking right now. I have a new headset plugged up to my laptop, so I got live audio going through my new headset mic. Anyways, I'm going to grab all the stuff out of these baskets, all the stuff off these shelves. You want to grab every last bit and bob here. All of this is important for later. Trust me. You also can use that bed to skip that tutorial section. Because if you actually never use that bed the entire game and then decide to, come back to this area after beating Dagother and try to use that bed, it will actually give you the tutorial. That's actually a fun fact. And now, we have access to our spell casting, and since we picked Mysticism, Destruction, and Alteration as major skills, it gave us Detect Animal, it gave us Detect Creature, which is a Mysticism spell, It gave us Fire Bite, a destruction spell, Shield an alteration, and Water Walking a alteration. And honestly, this feels like very Geralt of Rivia's. Okay, this wasn't actually fully intentional, but this literally feels like a straight out of a Witcher game. I have the ability to track, the ability to shoot fire at my enemies, the ability to protect myself, and the ability to walk on water is honestly just something that's there. Like, I guess Geralt could have that in an alternate fantasy world, but yeah. Anyways, we're going to go into the next area, and we're actually going to pay attention. You want to go to Morrowind, Duties, Caius Cascades, Balmora, and Siltstrider. That will give you all the information. Honestly, if it's your first playthrough, read through all of that and be very thorough with actually reading that stuff. There's a lot of information there. It tells you just how to get to Balmora, how many ways you can get to Balmora, all the shebang shaboodle. Now, the second you walk out of here, give the ring to Fargoth. We're actually going to get a good setup for our character right here in Satanine and do my typical setup. And what we're going to do is walk right up to Ariel. As you can see, we have a 90 personality with him now, since we just, gave the ring away. And now we can basically sell everything that doesn't restore fatigue, since we are a alchemist. So stuff like crab meat, bread, keep for now. I'll show you why later. And restore health, also keep. You may use it later on down the line for obvious reasons. And then other than that, you want to give away the direction to Caius Cascades, the note to Isker, but not the package. The package is a main quest item. Do not sell the package. Anyways, we're going to just sell everything to this one vendor right here. And then, as you can see, we have a little bit more money over top. So we can buy the Iron Saber, which has a 5 to 18 chop attack, meaning it's the strongest long blade, and we're a long blade build, so yeah. Because if you actually look around, you have all these other long blades, and let's see here. I mean, you have the Iron Axe, that does 32. Hammers do a bit more. Claymore does more, but it's a two-handed weapon, and we're trying to do one-handed since we're Geralt of Rivia. And anyways, since we're also light armor, as you can see, the light armor protects more. And I'll even have a link in the description of a video that will explain why light armor protects so much more, and what the difference is between the different armors. I'll basically show y'all a how to armor video in the description. Also, if you haven't already, remember to like and subscribe and comment, tell me how you're feeling today. Tell me how I'm doing with this video so far. If you like my tutorials, or if you hate them. I accept all feedback. Anyways, now that we have our mortar and pestle, what I'm going to do is save up here with our good old pal John 117, a Spartan who just so happens to be a Witcher as well, which is honestly kind of hilarious. I'm going to actually have Firebite equipped. Yeah, that seems like a very Geralt of Rivia thing. Anyways, we're also going to look in here. We have Buquam eggs, we got some bread. So I'm going to place these together. Potion fail, potion fail. Need to restore fatigue. Created potion, potion failed. Now, let's see here. So now we got 2 potions here that restore fatigue 5 points for 14 seconds each. So as you can see, alchemy in this game is actually kind of busted, because normally the alchemy potions aren't that good. Now, another thing we're going to do is actually retrieve the engraved ring of healing. We're going to do that by running right back on in here, and we're actually going to run up here, talk to old Flatfoot, and we're going to basically talk about Fargoth's hiding place. He'll tell you to go up on the lighthouse and watch over, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to head right on out into Saint Denis. Yes, I want you to mind your business. Anyways, we're going to head right on up here. I hear Soul Strider in the distance. It's beautiful. And we're going to walk around pretty carefully. We're going to take the lantern, hop down here, take the gold and silverware cup. We're going to use our acrobatic abilities to jump over here, jump over to this stump. We're going to take this axe, and I'm actually going to show you how combat works now. So, if you move slowly and more carefully, as you can see, your little green bar in the bottom left is actually a little higher than how our bar was in the previous journey. This is actually important, because watch how many swings I have to make to kill this mud crab. As you see, this weapon is a bit more optimized, and I was able to kill him in one blow, and I got really lucky. And honestly, I got really lucky in that earlier clip, because I actually hit that Kwama one too many times and actually broke some of the illusion I was trying to make, where I was supposed to be like a noob and everything. Anyways, you want to head up the tower, take all the lanterns, take the book so you can upgrade your unarmored skill. That'll level up your speed a little. Grab the rest of the lanterns. Then you're going to want to pop out your mortar and pestle, make some more scrib jerky and bread and crab meat soup, or at least try, and fail horribly. Then you're going to want to head outside, grab this lantern. There's a railway there. That's cool. Anyways, we're going to rest up. Had to find the right button. It's been a second. Anyways, we're going to rest up for 12 hours, so it's the middle of the night. It actually doesn't matter if you're sneaking or not, so you can actually save your thumb. And yeah, here's our character just sitting here chilling. As you can see, there's a guy walking around, sneaking about with a torch out. That's actually Fargoth. Yep, that's right. Fargoth is creeping out in the middle of the night, holding a torch, trying to be sneaky. You can probably tell that intelligence isn't exactly one of his favorite skills. Anyways, his favorite attributes. Anyways, he's going to walk over here now. Alright, and just like that, he goes right down there, and as you can see, he's by that stump right there. So if we actually wait 12 hours, it'll become brighter. And as you can see, he's still sitting by a stump because of game logic. Now that we're unsneaked, we're going to actually use our acrobatic abilities to jump onto this tree and absolutely break our legs. But of course, the fall almost never kills most of any characters, especially if you get acrobatics as a major or minor skill. Anyways, you're going to want to take everything from the stump because it's actually all very important. including the the engraved ring of healing, which provides a good bit of healing for like level 1 characters. Now, what you're wanting to do next is actually not return the money to Flatfoot. That's right, Flatfoot wants you to return the money, but I'm suggesting that you don't, because he actually won't send goons after you or anything of the sort. Like, literally. He'll just be fine with you having all of his money. He's just fine with it not being in Fargoth's hands, I guess. Anyways, this guy also has some spells if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And now, we have over 1,000 gold. And installation stopped. I'll check that out in a second. But anyways, we just got ourselves a good setup for a nice start. There is a way to get more stuff. Off in the distance, there's a scroll of Vicarian Flight, and a ring, and actually, since this is a how-to, I'm going to speed this part up so I can show y'all some of that stuff. And right over here, you'll find a book. And right above that book, you'll see a wizard. And he does not want to talk about it. But you can talk about it by simply walking up to him and pressing Dispose Corpse or left bumper. And you'll take all of his gear, including a pretty snazzy helmet, which honestly really fits our character a lot. You'll also get some Swagger Dagger robes. Honestly fits our character a lot. And you'll also get a Spark Sword. And yeah, this actually feels very Geralt of Rivia inspired. Now we have 2 swords. One for damage, one for ghosts. That'll be important in a second. But first, we're going to rest up and camp out to heal ourselves a little. And now, we're going to head on out. Right over here, off the road, to the, if you're looking on the map, to the west, if you just head with the hill on your right side, just hug the hill a little, and just keep heading this way, you'll find a mud crab. And this mud crab is easy to kill, as you can see. And you can get some quick, easy crab meat. But also on the road, as you can see, is a slaughterfish swimming away from a tomb. And this tomb right here is Samari's ancestral tomb. Now what we're going to do is save up right here. And the reason we're going to save is because this is a dangerous place right here. We're going to equip our Ghost Slaying Sword for reasons that will be clear inside. So as you explore the tomb a little, you'll find scrolls laid out on some of the little pedestals here with urns. And right here is a ghost! But don't worry, you can kill him, and if you have the Atronach sign, you can absorb most of his stuff and just honestly obliterate ghosts. He also has fortified agility ectoplasm, which is nice, but we don't need that. What we do need is to see what's behind here, and it's another ghost. But again, you can kill ghosts like it's nothing. Now, what we're going to do is pick up all these potions and everything. And this right here is an urn, but it's not just any urn. This urn right here is actually a trap. It's also Lord Brian's urn, but we're going to loot it anyways. And we're going to pop an engraved ring of healing at the right time to not die. And then we're going to rest to heal. And now, we're going to loot the urn and find Mentor's Ring, the Ashes of Lord Brine, which is actually a tribute to a longtime Bethesda fan before the release of Morrowind, and you're going to find a key to Lord Brine's chest, which is a chest with random leveled loot, like this chitin short sword and this chitin spear. And of course, the higher your level, the better that stuff will be. So you could find, like, say, Grand Soul Gems in there at some point. But anyways, with the Mentor Ring equipped, we will gain plus 10 intelligence, which will increase our mana. And we'll also get plus 10 willpower, which will increase our ability to resist paralysis. We now have 150 mana versus our 120 mana. This will be useful if we want to, say, cast spells. And of course, we're just going to make our way outside the tomb now. Now that we basically looted everything that was of actual importance in here. And now that we're outside the tomb, we're just going to make our way south, back to Satan. But we're also going to be chased by mud crabs, which is annoying because we were trying to rest. Rest till 12 a.m. To be interrupted by Jeffrey the Scrib. Oh hey Jeffrey, I was not expecting you here. Oh Jeffrey the Scrib, Jeffrey. Alright, Jeffrey's heading aside, we are on a mission. And that's a mission to teach people how to play Morrowind more effectively. And of course I'm still showing y'all how to make money. Now, already showing y'all how combat works and how you need to move slow, use optimized weapons, and basically make sure your build is more optimized and have the best gear for your stuff. So, as you can see, that was a Qualma Forager. And 2 Jeffreys. Jeffrey the Scrib. No, can't get distracted. Anyways, that was a Qualma Forager. The same thing we were fighting literally in the beginning of that video. And yeah, we just killed him in 2 hits rather than the 17,000 hits that we had at the beginning of this video. And now that we're out and about, we just found tax records on a corpse, which is kind of weird. And as you can see, someone hasn't been paying his taxes. Thorin Gilnith. And it just so happens that we found a corpse while traveling near Satanine. Corpse of the tax collector. He had 200 caps, 200 gold on him. Almost hit caps. This isn't Fallout. Anyways, I actually did do a little bit of a detective video on this back when I first started the Morrowind playthrough. I may actually leave a clip to that, but basically, this guy right here did not pay his taxes, and I'm basically gonna... Basically, you want to do this quest. If you don't want this quest spoiled, just skip to, I guess I'll leave a timestamp on the screen right now. But basically, what we're going to do is basically skip this quest entirely, ruining it for most people. Actually, I probably already did ruin it. Never mind. Anyways, you're going to want to say you saw 200 cat septums on that guy, and hand over the 200 septums. Basically, you'll be told you'll get 500 septums for finding the murderer and bringing him to justice. We already know who the murderer is, just all we have to do is bring him to justice. And now that we're standing right here, outside of Thorin Gilnith's shack, we're just going to head right on in and tell him what we found. And we're going to say, sorry, that is no excuse for murder. Your punishment should be death. He'll try to punch you. You should just try to stab him. You'll find that that'll be very effective. However, if he starts hurting you a little too much, pop a restore fatigue potion you would have made by now. It should help. Obviously, this Dunmer has bad eyesight since he's saying that we're beaten, despite the fact that we already hit him a few times and just killed him. Now, I know that my fatigue may have been low, however, having a good major skill, weapon major skill, is actually more important than having a better fatigue. Now, you do want to keep your fatigue pretty high, and honestly, I'm not sure why I decided that having it at half would have been a good idea, but half is honestly better than no fatigue. So keep that in mind. Also check out all these barrels. There are valuables usually in them. Valuables such as clinky gold and tasty kwama eggs and salt rice and ingredients like trauma root, which actually grants levitation. And now that we killed that guy and found ourselves a precious ring, we're going to walk over to this lighthouse because you can actually get some investigation work done. Basically be told that the tax collector was dating the woman here in the lighthouse, and you would actually be told by this lady that Goran was the murderer, basically. Anyways, if you hand her the ring, you'll get 2 standard restore health potions, which is a very nice reward. You wouldn't find it on her corpse, and the reason I'm bringing that up is because now she has the precious ring, which is a pretty expensive ring. And we are trying to make money today. So I'm sorry, but she has to go. There are no witnesses in here, so yeah, it really doesn't matter if we kill her. Though she may hurt us a little. It does seem like she has some pretty high hand-to-hand. But nothing we couldn't handle. Now we have the lighthouse to ourselves and the precious ring. And we can actually make a little shortcut here from the lighthouse. Jump up on this rock, jump over the wall, and just like that, we're back in the Census Nexus office. Of course, you cannot leave the same way you came in because that's a 100 lock. Bethesda really didn't want you leaving. And just like that, we got 500 gold from him, bringing us up to 2,000 gold. Now, time to head over to Ariel one last time to sell a bunch of loot. And then, what we're going to do is head on over to Balmora. And by that time, you will basically know everything there is to know about playing Morrowind, because the journey has already begun. And there's still a few dungeons around the area. You can actually do a nearby mine to free some slaves and whatnot, but honestly, let me just leave that up to you viewers, since I'm just, trying to share a tutorial here on YouTube. So yeah, there's a dungeon nearby, and you can go clear it. There's some loot in there, and I've shown you basically all the basics you need to know for how to do proper combat here in Morrowind, how to make a pretty optimized character, how to make potions so that way you can keep yourselves topped up on everything. We're also gonna sell the calm berries. There we go. Just like that, we have 2,500 gold. We have more than enough gold to take us to Balmora and get us plenty more loot. Anyways, this has been Frost Brew. Actually, I'm not going to wrap things up right quick. I'm actually going to show y'all where the dungeon is right quick. So, if you actually head out here, this here will basically be your trial run. This over here will basically be an area that I'm not going to tell you about. The reason why? Because I want you to figure it out by yourselves using everything that I've taught you in this video. You should be able to clear out this dungeon all by yourself with all this gear that I got y'all, and you should be able to use what you learn to fight all the NPCs in there. There is one mage who may give you some issue, however, you should be able to figure out how to beat him. Anyways, this has been your bro Frost Brew. I have shown you how to play Morrowind, and yeah, I will catch you all in the next one. Later.